You sure you're all right?
Good evening. Yes, we're all right. I think we're all right.
Yeah, just had to wait for a good 30 seconds before we could answer your question, Anthony.
Yeah.
We're not doing bad at all with that. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Hope you all keeping well, and we're ready to go. How have you two been?
Not too bad, Tim. Not too bad. Been a bit of an hectic day. But
Hi,
yeah.
Joanne.
Yeah, it's been good. Been looking forward to this show, to be honest with you. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, I must admit. I'm actually in the ugly section for a change.
About bloody time.
About time.
Well, that's the kindest way to put it, innit? Is about time, yeah. So trouble is, you're going to get one of those sarcastic that comes on the telly and goes, yeah, all year round. But he's just
Big up Wolfie. Thanks, mate. Good to see you in here.
Yes,
Liked and shared. Thank you, Joanne. Big up to Big T. Big up panel. Can you stop reminding me of the score of our last meeting?
1, 2, 3.
Ho, ho, ho,
0.
ho,
Ho, ho, ho, ho.
So
like
yes.
Frankenstein. Was it Dracula? That's Dracula.
A currently ugly great film, indeed.
Oh,
So yeah.
God, no.
So when you look at, obviously, we'll start off with that game, Man United with West Ham. As you know, it didn't exactly go to plan for the Hammers, but a great result for Man United.
Hell yeah. Doing good. We're doing good. Feasting nicely. Just glad to know that for the first time since November, we get 2 Premier League wins on the bounce. This is uncharted territory right now for Man United. But it was actually not many times this season we've got to say as United fans that we deserved to win a game thoroughly the way that we did. And this is one of those games. So you know what, I'm chuffed with that. I'm happy with the performance. Happy with the individuals we saw. Højlund again, fantastic goal. Birthday goal, and Garnacho doing one in front of goal as well, grabbing himself 2 goals himself.
Yeah, because when you look at that, I mean, we had a fair possession of the game ourselves. Was it 22 shots, 3 on target? So it's all about taking them chances. Let's see now. So obviously, the good, the bad, and the fuzzy. And was it the West Ham's toughest game this season? Did our pass remind you of prime Barcelona and our attacking prowess of prime Real Madrid?
No, I think it was better than that. I thought it was the passing of prime Arsenal last season. levels to this game, but yeah, not as probably not as splendid as that, but
yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah, I mean, Stephanie's made a good comment here. A big save for Manana early doors, no pun intended, helped settle down, which he did because he didn't have a bad game for a change, did he? Really,
clean sheet.
Which is a rarity in itself, just seeing that part.
I think it was like at one point you had like one of the highest clean sheets out of every other goalkeeper in the Premier League. I was like, how has this happened? What? How? Leaky defense, leaky goalkeeper, highest clean sheets.
Not bad at all. I mean, it's rumoured the only prime Arsenal have is Amazon.
All for nothing.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was
Knew it
coming.
was coming. Knew it was coming. He's going to give me some. I think he'd give me some stick Friday night. You know, on the takeaway. He'd be on there.
Yeah.
He'd give me some stick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, the only thing that kind of marred your game was the injury to Martinez.
Gone for 2 months.
Is it
2 months
I thought?
/8 weeks thereabouts, but wasn't as bad as they had initially had anticipated. To be fair, they were thinking, oh, this might be ACL. Took the assessments of it as like, no, it's not an ACL, and it won't require surgery. So, yeah, a double positive in that. That he'll still be able to get back to playing games for United before the end of the season, which is a big bonus, a big positive, and it's not a long-term injury where it's like, well, he's out for the rest of the season and he's missing for a chunk of next season as well. So thankfully it's not a major injury, but still going to be sorely missed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw the instant leading up to it. What did you think about the elbow that was, and the menace on his face as he gave the elbow? Lucky enough it didn't connect with Kufal because it hit him just by the side. But did you see anything in that?
To be honest, I didn't even know that there was an elbow, to be fair. I didn't see that there was an elbow in that game whatsoever.
Unfortunately, I didn't have time to screenshot the actual picture, but if you see it, you can see there's a nice old aggressive
Was
look
it
on Martinez.
Was it a proper like Zlatan Ibrahimovic on Tyrone Mings?
There was full recoil action going on with the elbow. Lucky enough, he just glanced the side of Kufal's body. Otherwise, yeah, we'd be looking at a different story, I think, if that was the case.
Yeah, well, I suppose call him the butcher for a reason. I guess he's hacking and chopping at everybody, all in the spirit of combativeness. I think.
Is Anthony going to be happy with that Spurs won't have the best stadium when we build our Wembley of the North? We'll come to that. We will come to that. Evening, peeps. Evening, happy I hope you're keeping well. Good to see you on here. And also Lawrence Watkins as well. Big up to yourself as well.
Yeah, it's Lawrence.
I mean, the biggest problem we had there, I mean, there's a point where Bowen could have easily scored a goal, but took forever and a day. And Dello came out of nowhere and nicked the ball off of him. So that was our only kind of glimpse of actually, breaking that clean sheet, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. So that was a bit of a shame. We'll come back to West Ham in a minute. But actually, Fuzzy, you've got to be happy with the news at Radcliffe, maybe knocking down Old Trafford and building a new Trafford.
Forget the longest bar in, what was it, longest bar in Europe or something? Gonna have the longest restaurant. One that actually cooks chicken and not give everyone salmonella poisoning. So that would be a nice change, but I'm not necessarily for or against it. For me, it's less so much about the stadium, but more what the club is, how the club's going to seek, its future. Just all around, to be honest, whether its ambition is to be successful or whether it's going to be like an Arsenal where you move from Highbury to the Emirates and the promise is that you compete, you go up levels, when in actuality it's just to fill out a bigger seater stadium to increase your revenues and then, sort of make the front and centre success ambition at the club second in your priority lists or something. So whether it's staying at current Old Trafford and that we just renovate it, we tart it up, make it look a bit more modern, or we move just up the road a bit to a new stadium, just as long as Man United stay trying to be successful and stay on the top of their game. I haven't got any quarrels with it, to be honest.
Well, I think the kind of biggest thing that came to light today was how he wants to fund it. By the sounds of it, it's all about getting public funding. £2 billion.
I think it's something that they've already held conversations with between Ineos and the Manchester County, the local government up there, basically the councils, and I think with the inroads that they'll have into the UK financing, if it becomes a major sporting venue and they make a big enough deal about it, then maybe they can secure funding for it. But God only knows how that's going to go and how they're going to wrap up the fundings from the UK government to financing a new stadium, as opposed to Jim using his own money to put forth, or Ineos using their revenue streams, trying to source funds from elsewhere to sort of keep their own pool as full as possible. I have to see how those talks go.
Yeah, but it sounds positive anyway. I mean, so it's good news for you guys. I mean, obviously, Happy Hammer has put here, have you heard about Chelsea players wanting out?
Bella Silva.
That's the start. Yeah, that's the start.
Yeah.
It is the first one.
There's a few. I heard of Gallagher, their young player, that they signed, that he could have been leaving in the transfer window. But I don't think he did in the end, did he? He ended up staying at Chelsea, I think.
He stayed there, didn't he? Yeah,
He stayed there. Yeah. So I think he's one of them. I think you're going to find a few next season. There's going to be a lot of movement within that club beginning part of next season. So, but then again, there's talks about with Potter's job. Apparently, he's treading on thin ice. He could be he's up for the sack, as they say. But listen, I feel that they've got to give, if they want this Chelsea team to do well, actually the club to do well, I feel that they got to give Poch more time, because he's come in. I don't think some of the players are his, but some of the players they're not, So he's had to work with obviously players that he didn't sign. But yeah, I'm all for that. I think just give him time, and you'll see a different Chelsea.
Yeah, because it's a big task, isn't it? I mean, Todd Bowley brought the majority of these players in, and I think it was just a case of, I'm the new owner, this is what I can do. But yeah, it's a big one, isn't it? I mean, what's it there? Jim the janitor wants to be Bob the builder. Which one's Jim the janitor? Is that you, mate? Happy Emirates says, is it the 8-year deals? I think that's the big part. That's how he's kept the FFP knocking on the door by offering these 8-year deals, and that's why the Premier League are now looking to stop these deals being done. When you buy as many players as what he's done, and you come as a new manager, I think if it's Ten Hag, it was not Arteta, because we're moving on from that one. If it was any other manager, basically, you've got to start from scratch with a team you don't really know. As you said, he's brought in players, like you said, Anthony. But when you're kind of dealing with all these other players, it's not your squad at the end of the day. How can you build a team around a squad that's not yours? Exactly,
you can. And trouble is, though, I think sometimes what comes with it, Tim, is when you bring the player in, it's not just the signing of the player. What comes with the player is an attitude as well. What attitude, what frame of mind is that player in? I mean, to be honest with you, when, as we know, when Poch was over in France, managing PSG, he couldn't handle the big names like Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. He couldn't get through to them. I don't think they listened to him pretty much. And that's one of the reasons, obviously, why he left. But obviously, with Chelsea, they don't have those big players as in such. I mean, they could attract them, obviously, with the money. We all know that. But, I mean, if they were, will Poch be able to handle these players? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm glad. I mean, we all talk about the players we signed, like with Modric and stuff like that, they're absolute dire. I think, what was he, 85 million, was he? Something like that.
I think he was around that fee, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. And I got to be honest with you, that is an absolute waste of money.
Well, I mean, he's only scored 2, is it, in the last 6 games, something like that? Maybe more?
Yeah, something like that. He hasn't got a lot of goals this season.
No. I mean, obviously, when you think Højlund at Man United has obviously doubled his tally already compared to that guy, and he's played more time than what Højlund has. So, that's a bad business. It's bad business. Big T saying, any news on the Premier League meeting today? I think they wanted to adjust FFP to be more like the European model. I mean, obviously, I was too busy today, so I don't know if you guys have got any news on this.
I haven't checked. I don't know any news on this one, but I think this FFP is I think he's doing my head in, mate, to be honest with you. Mate.
Even Carl
You're
Wilson.
similar to the FFP. I think they need to throw it away. To be honest with you, I'm not keen on FFP. It's like VAR. That's another thing. I think that two things that they can throw away as well. I mean, obviously, I get it. Like with obviously, you've got to level your books within the space of 3 seasons. Okay, to a certain extent, yeah, I get that. But listen, if you're a team and you've got X amount of money, you're going to spend it, aren't you? Attracting top quality players, and obviously the teams like low down sort of thing. I mean, obviously, like let me get this right. Like this team here, yeah, right. You're not going. You're going to attract good players, but at a reasonable price. I mean, you're not going to spend. There's nowhere near West Ham's going to spend 70, 80, 90 million on players when West Ham spend like 30, 35 million on players, maybe 40 at a push. But this is how the world is today, and I don't know why FFP gets involved with the wages and the books and all that. At the end of the day, that's down to the owners. They've got to deal with obviously, they've got to deal with the books and that, and it's financial fair play. I'm not with it. It just proves that. I mean, we've taken Chelsea in consideration. All the money they spent over £1 billion on players, and where are they? So it proves at the end of the day, money doesn't really make a successful team, does it?
No, that's for sure. We've seen that. It's quite evident, and they're not being funny when you think your manager is 750 million and exactly in the same position, basically. So
exactly.
I mean, obviously, Hammer saying, talking of FFP, all Prem clubs meeting to discuss stretching the limit to around £220 million every 3 years. Convenient timing considering clubs being invested, in my opinion, hasn't been updated in over 10 years. That's a fair comment. It is a fair comment.
Yeah, it's interesting. The timing of this meetings and stuff, it only really happens when clubs start getting punishment and clubs start sort of clapping back like, oh, this ain't really that fair. And then the Premier League's just like, well, I guess we should update things. I guess we should,
Evening, Ronnie.
Switch a few dials around on our end of things, just so that perhaps we can come to a compromise here.
No, exactly, and I think every club's. You saw it in the transfer window because it was mostly loan deals and no actual buying. So everyone's trying to find a way of kind of keeping that fee down.
Yeah, I wonder if it's any relation to any news perhaps that Ineos might be looking to do. Target or bargain hunting in free agents or players that have only got 1 year left on their contracts to try and lower transfer values or transfer fees. Which I suppose in some scenarios you can say, well, it's a smarter thing to do as long as you're actually active in picking up solid options in the market as opposed to only doing that because that's the cheaper option. But if you can get quality from those pools, then why not go for that as opposed to paying big bucks for a guy that's tied down on a 3, 4, 5 year contract at their other club. Save a bit of extra money, but you also get quality at the same time. So you could say it's a double win as opposed to 1 loss, 1 win.
Ronnie Bubbles saying, can't stay on, got my darts night on, popped in to say hi and ask if I can get some help. How can DM someone, ask them to DM me? What's that through? Is that through WhatsApp or let us know which it is, Ronnie? I mean, funny, I don't know if you saw it today. One of West Ham targets was Ibrahim Osman, and we had the issue with the 2 agents, and then suddenly Brighton's going to be signing the player. So what? I've not looked into this because I've not had time to do it with all the training I've done today. But what the hell? How can we not get it across? Then suddenly Brighton's announcing the players if they've done all the work.
Yeah, I just think it might be something during the back scenes we didn't know. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. I like that comment.
So, what's that?
You're okay, Ronnie. Need someone buried with the old DMs.
DMs, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously with his Osman, there was, you had this agent that was wanting 7 million as a payoff, and yet it was an ex-West Ham player that is his agent. So that's why the Dutch league intervened, and we didn't do the business.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm wondering with Brighton, I think it might just be down to the way in which the conversations might have just unfolded between the upper management of your club and the upper management of Brighton. That the conversations you had were, they're all right, and then something the Brighton guys might have said, actually, we like the sound of that much more. And perhaps there's more sense of urgency from Brighton or decisiveness. It's like, if you come to us now, we want you now. We want to get this deal done now. West Ham might not have conveyed that urgency. They might have said, well, we'd like to sign you in the summer. Let's take a bit of time to discuss this. Whereas Brighton say, well, we can guarantee you, your move.
No, we done a lot of homework on this kid. I've been watching him for a while, but he just seems to have fallen by. So I just sort of asked, does anyone know? Can they do a DM through YouTube to another person? I don't think they can they?
Don't think there is.
I haven't tried it. No.
DM on YouTube. No,
that's what I thought.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think that was the case. Evening, Rosie. Hope you keep him well. Good to see you on here as well.
Good evening.
We West Ham did a lot of work on this kid. We was very keen to get him. The player was very keen to come and join us, and then it came about this agent business that.
I suppose you could, if you want to do a comparison with United, might say Darwin Núñez. When it was all Man United were going to go for him, and then out of nowhere we're sitting on it. Liverpool take him. Cody Gakpo as well. United linked to him. Both times players they fancy United, Liverpool just swoop and take him.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there was a player that you was interested in, Buzz, Man United, and a striker, and I think he went to West Ham. His name was it Scamacca or something? Samaka, yeah. And I think he played for, is it Salute or something like that over Italy? But then Man United was interested in him, and then obviously he went to West Ham. And when you look at players like that, you've got to be thankful you went to West Ham.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I
mean? I think Rani. The only way there is a feedback section is like a help section. You can go on that for any advice and help through YouTube. I think that's the only way you can actually speak to someone. Yeah,
you've got to Google it. Google it. I think it brings up you a list of options and that, and then you just got to click on it, and then it just tells you what to do, gives you a voice on it.
Yeah, as Happy Hammer said, she's gutted to hear that Seagulls have signed Osman as they ahead of next season. I mean, we do all the donkey work and someone else swoops in and takes it away. Because obviously, I did a screenshot of this before. Apparently, the agent that was doing is Mitch Beckervans, who is not allowed to represent Ibrahim Osman. He wants too much money for himself. The Danish Federation, the DBU, confirmed that he is not the legal agent, but Darren Powell is. But yet, Brighton have managed to sign the player. So they're going to get a good player. The kid's only 19. So plenty of stuff out of that kid they're going to get.
Yeah.
Sullivan runs the club like a car boot sale. He does indeed.
He might have come to his senses too. He thought, West Ham, fuck that little shit. I'm just going to vote him. You never know.
You might have seen the thumbnail for our YouTube videos. Like, oh no, the Hammers fan is he's in the ugly section. I want that. I will go to a club that's not so ugly.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he didn't go to Arsenal then, that's for sure.
Saw them eyebrows. It's just like, I don't want to look like that. No, thanks.
To be honest with you, I don't want to look like that with these bloody eyebrows on there. I'd rather have none.
I mean,
there are eyebrows there.
I mean, Happy saying again, I believe Osman had turned down Brighton and Brentford though. Well, I don't know, because it was being banded around on media and that, and even on the radio that apparently Brighton have done this business. So yeah,
with Brentford, I can remember one of the guys that I know. He was like, giving it that, giving it.
All good, Rosie.
saying, yeah,
It's very true. That's very true, Anthony. I think you'd be in. So Ronnie Bubbles, she's saying, I think you need to be on social media account to get hold of her. Peeps, yeah, that's true. You're not on Discord, Twitter, or Insta.
Twatter.
Twitter, as they call it.
Swatter.
So, Anthony, before that, just going to say hello to James Lamprey. Good to see you, ladies and gents. Evening to yourself.
Ups, James.
Hey, here he is. Good evening, Kieran. Or good morning for you. Good afternoon. Good day, Tony. 33 degrees today, in case you're wondering. So, Kieran is West Ham. He lives out in Australia, obviously. And as you can see, very cold out there in Australia at the moment, 33 degrees. Good day to you, mate, as well.
God, blimey, put a coat on, Kieran. I took a cold from here.
Do you want a a scarf around you?
Yeah, indeed.
Grab you some gloves, some little mittens.
I mean, as happy Herbert saying, it'd be interesting if the ridiculous agent fees were true. I mean, €7 million, that's astronomical. Jeez, man. Have you killed that Mahusiv spider yet? Oh, yeah, he's dealing with that, wasn't he? Something smells of Osman saga. Yep, definitely, James. Very true.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, Arsenal, talk about your club, mate. They did all right, didn't they, on the weekend?
Well,
bad at all.
We've done all right. I got to be honest with you. I could say we've done all right in the last 3 games. Obviously, beating back end of Palace, beating them 5-0. But we said, it felt like that was an easy game. And in all fairness, I don't think Palace turned up to that one. I think they made us look good, but obviously we had to exploit that. And I feel that with obviously I can't. Who else did we bloody beat? Forest. Yes, we beat Forest 2-1. Do you know what? The game was unbelievable. I don't understand why nobody couldn't really score in that first half. Having 80% possession and 20 odd shots on goal in the first half, that was ridiculous. But I think we've done well, and we just won that game. I think it was a game. It was like a smash and grab kind of game, and we just got 3 points. Went in there, got out. But the main one was the Liverpool one. When I saw that lineup and I seen Kai Havertz up front, I'm like, oh fucking hell, we've lost this one. We've definitely lost this one. But it looked like it was the same team that we set out against Liverpool when he beat us in the FA Cup. And it pretty much was. And I'm like, right, that's another defeat then. But I think we really played well. I just want to say to him, I don't think Liverpool's all that without Salah. When he's not playing, it's a massive percentage, a massive link that's been sort of ripped out of that team, and you could tell that Liverpool were no threat at all in that game, really, from what I've seen of it, and I just felt they were really poor. Arsenal were, obviously, as you know, they were the better team, and I really thought they would have put up more of a fight. To be honest with you, I mean, when Salah's not there, they play Jota out on the wide left.
Yeah,
and he's a very good player, Jota, but he didn't really do anything in that game as well. And obviously, knowing what we know about Jurgen Klopp, leaving at the end of this season, you most probably would have thought the players would have put that more into it, obviously, to make him, obviously let him finish the season off on the eye, to obviously try and go and win that Premier League, sort of thing. I mean, they still can. I mean, it's only one game, but, that one game can come quite costly, leading in towards the last few games towards the end of the season, So, but apart from that, I'm really happy, and the goals, I like the goals as well.
Yeah, they was taken well.
They were taken well.
Chelsea's 3-0 up at the moment, so they're enjoying a good game at the moment. So, got to go. As I've got company, have a good show. I like you on the way out. Thanks, Ronnie. Good to see you, mate.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Because What made me laugh about the Liverpool situation was Van Dijk and Adrian. It reminded me back to the old days of Schmeichel and Steve Bruce. Have you got it? Have I got it? To me, to you?
So,
Virgil van Disney and the Brazilian Onana.
Wow. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
I mean, there was that one that we had as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
True. But I think, when we made that mistake, I think you had to blame Saliba there. Obviously, we was covering the ball, and he was sort of like an hesitation as he kicked it. Obviously, as we know, he's hit Gabriel on the hand. It just fell in his face, and right place at being in the right place at the right time, and Liverpool scored their goal.
It was comedy gold watching it because it just reminds you of a typical, Sunday league morning game where I'm going to clear this, and no, I'm not. I'm going to spin around, and even the keeper could have done it. I mean,
even the keeper. Can I mention one thing, Tone? We've obviously mentioned about the Chelsea game, but obviously Nottingham Forest has got Bristol City tonight in the FA Cup, and at the minute it's 1-1. But that was going into the that was both goals were scored in the first half. But apparently, if you can actually remember, do you remember Darren Anderson's goal for England against Sweden past Thomas Ravelli went posting in? Yeah. Apparently, it was a goal that was very similar to that for Bristol City. That is not Forest. We don't expect Forest to score goals like that, do we?
No.
I think he's actually peed off. Yet he couldn't find a link to watch the game, so he's watching the he's watching the Villa and Chelsea game.
Is he?
Yeah, and he's keeping up with the scores between City and Forest on his thing or something like that. But I just want to say, big up Yeti. Mate, we're going to kick your ass, and that's it.
I mean, obviously, the end of your game, the celebrations. What did you make of that? Were they too over the top? Were they just right? Or did you feel like you're just making my club a bit more embarrassing there by the way you kind of thought you've just won the World Cup?
I think it's two. I think it could be a little bit embarrassing, and then sometimes when you look at it, you think it's all right because you've come out, you've played a big game against Liverpool, and you've won. It's about time that Arsenal has actually done that, actually walked up to the home fans and actually celebrated, whether win, lose or draw, you just go over to you clap. If you lose, if you are given some abuse by the fans, then rightly so, because they paid to watch the game, So that's that. But yeah, I personally think it was it could have been slightly over the top, but at the same time, I get it. Do you know what I mean? So it's a mixture of both with me, saying, But it's about time that Arsenal has actually, the players actually should have gone up to the fans and clap them all the time after the 90 minutes. So I say, and they've done that.
Yeah, it's true though. I mean, at the end of the day, in certain respects, I mean, I'm just going to see that comment. That two comments. Obviously, Hammer was saying about we're going to come back to this. Obviously, us playing you on the weekend, but Big T. So taking pictures is the only way. Some Arsenal players can take shots.
Yeah, true. You're talking about the Odegaard one, but apparently I saw the video, and after the game, Ian Wright released it. He released a video on his Instagram saying that everybody slags off the Arsenal fans, this, that, and the other, and obviously they had a massive game. They've won. Enjoy the game. Enjoy it. Enjoy the win. He said, don't care what anybody says or what any other fans or any other team say. You enjoy it. You've got a right to enjoy a win. We've had a win. We've played a big team, and I don't really care what anybody says. And I think there was something, I can't remember what was said word for word, but apparently I think if I remember correctly, or I may have seen a video on it or something like that. I think Jamie Carragher mentioned something about it as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of a little bit of friction there. They interviewed an ex Sky Sports pundit of Matt Letizia, and he said that he should be sacked or something. Jamie Carragher, he was saying Jamie Carragher should be sacked from Sky, but you know,
it's just a bit of sour grapes. I mean, at the end of the day, in that, yes, it's probably Arsenal's best performance for 2 seasons for me, because you did play well, regardless of that. You know, you could say the celebrations were a little bit over the top because if you look at the table at the time, as much as you had moved up to second place, you still had City. They had 2 games in hand on you, and their game was coming up. So, enjoy that win bit because you know full well what was coming, and we'll talk about that shortly. So, Hammer saying after watching the Arse play again after our defeat, not looking forward to Sunday. So, as you know, we play you on Sunday. Is it going to be 3 times in a row for Moisey to get it right against Arteta and Arsenal? Or do you feel like going in for this game you've had at Liverpool, that the game is yours?
I feel the game's ours. I thought Arsenal's going to win it this time. We know. I mean, we've played against you twice, once in the league and obviously once in the Carabao Cup. We pretty much, Arteta pretty much should know how West Ham is roughly going to come into this game, how they're going to play, you know, and what their philosophy is within this game. I feel that, it's like what I said to him. I feel that we're going to win. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be an easy win. But in all fairness, I said this on last week's show when we were talking about the West Ham and Man United game, and I actually said West Ham to beat Man United 2-1. I did say that.
Yeah.
And it turned out I don't think you turned up. I think you switched off in the game team, if I'm honest, that in West Ham in that game. I mean, the players you've got there, I mean, Bowen, Kudos, you got Phillips now. You got a few good players there, but it's like what I said, you just did not turn up. But as we know, West Ham's a London team, Arsenal's a London team, sort of derby, as you know, and it gives anything can happen in that game, and anything will happen. I think there's going to be I'm not going to say sending offs, but I feel that there's going to be a few good bookings in that game. There always is against Arsenal and West Ham, isn't there? But I feel if we can beat you, that's 4 wins on the trot then for Arsenal, and that'd be good. And then leading into the next game after that, obviously Arsenal's got Burnley after the West Ham game. So if we can win that, that'd be 5 straight wins on the trot, which would be great for us. Look, it sort of keeps us up there within the top. Obviously with the likes of Liverpool and Man City. But I'm just going to enjoy it while I can, because I'm not an Arteta in when I say this. I'm not an Arteta in. I'm just going to enjoy it while I can, because I know for a fact we're gonna go into that spiral game, and that spiral will be around about the beginning or the middle of April of that month, and that's when we start spiraling down again, sort of thing. So just enjoy it, but Arsenal fans, just enjoy it while you can, and that's all I can say really on that one too. But yeah, I think we might. Actually, no, I'm going to rephrase it. We're going to kick your ass. We're going to destroy you. We're going to come to against you every bit of the park. That's it. Tough. 3-1 Arsenal.
Easy win for Arsenal. I mean, obviously, Lawrence Watkins is saying here and that, predicting a Rice own goal on Sunday. Doing his secret mission for Moisey as always. That's
a winner.
A bicycle kick in his own box. He's just like, yes, I'll score for well. Wait,
I can see him. I think he'll play well. I think Rice will have a good game. He might score in that game. He might not, but I can see him having a good game. But listen, no matter what happens, win, lose or draw, when that final whistle goes, you know what Declan Rice is going to do. Obviously, he's going to congratulate Arsenal, and he's going to congratulate West Ham as well. You know, a couple of their players and shake their hands and say, "Look,
yeah, of course."
And he's a proven man. You know, he's a really nice guy, down to earth, and that's the way he is. But if he does do that, in all fairness, I just don't want to see like fans, both West Ham fans or Arsenal fans, you know, taking certain jabs at him for doing that. You know, he's just a respectable game. You shake hands after the game, no matter what happens.
Of course.
And obviously, Declan Rice would do that. So,
I mean, if you look at it, at the end of the day, as Lawrence puts there, happy he could be West Ham's man of the match again, because he left to join you guys, and when you give away the penalty and that, he suddenly become a West Ham legend again, because he's actually he's helping us out. That secret mission, like I said, it's all good. But no, I get your point. You know, you've got to enjoy the thing, because after the Burnley game, you've got quite a fair old run coming, haven't you? Some tough teams.
We've got a fair old, but yeah, we have got some tough teams after the Burnley game. I believe we've got Man City there coming up, so that's going to be an hard one. I think Villa is in that line.
Yeah, you got Villa as well, yeah.
Yeah, so that's Villa, Man City. Obviously we've got Man United, but that's the on game 37, the game, obviously the game before last game of the season, and we've got Everton before them as well. I think
Everton's the last game of the season for you guys, but you've also got your North London rivals in that as well, I believe, haven't you?
Tottenham, yeah, we've got Tottenham as well. So you know that's going to be it's going to be a tricky one, interesting but tricky. But listen, I think if Mikel Arteta holds up to it, because what we're forgetting now with the after the Burnley game, Champions League starts again, and then we got Porto.
Oof.
So we got Porto in between the two runnings, obviously in the midweek. So that's going to be good to see if we can beat Porto. Hopefully, and I mean hopefully, within those Champions League games, we can stay injury free, because it's like what Arteta's come out and said. We have a bare minimum squad. We don't have a lot of players, a lot of coverage to cover certain areas of the pitch, or if we do, they're not at the standard of what we want them to be. Like obviously Eddie Nketiah for one, but that's it. But yeah, I mean, going back to that Liverpool game zone, I thought we played well. My man of the match in that game, and I think I got to give it to him, rightly so, because I'd never really praised him up and never really given him a man of the match, was Jorginho for me. I thought he was a good player. I thought he played really well, and I personally thought he was my man of the match, Jorginho.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Big up to Dave, Old School Gunner, and that. If you like seeing Arsenal content, go and see Old School Gunner and that. Share, like, and subscribe to that channel and that. Nice old guy, and he's now.
Oh no! See tomorrow's show, Gunner Small Corners, soft Dave. It's a joke, Dave. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, subscribe, and he does good content, and he brings, he brings good people on the show, exactly. Like myself and Tim. I can't think of anybody else, but just me and Tim.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Happy Emirates saying we've got a few good players, just no left wingers. Moyes will play. That's very true. Yeah, because I mean, we're also light in the squad now. When you think, with what happened with the Benny Fornells situation, that was another weird one as well.
Yeah.
Also on a hot goal scoring streak.
And Ben Rama.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, especially when you're still sitting in the game wondering if the paperwork had been done. So James is saying Arsenal on a hot goal scoring streak, 10 in the last 3 Prem games.
United have scored 9 in their last 3 as well, I think.
Yeah,
2 against Tottenham, 4 against Wolves, 3 against West Ham.
We're all doing well. Look, we scored 3 in the last 5. So, we've done well. And she's also saying, looking forward to Rice's second worst performance of the season so far on Sunday.
Listen, I'm just going to give you West Ham fans some stick on next week's show, and Tony, you've got to stay. I'm sorry, mate, but you're going to be stuck in that ugly for some time. You are, mate. I mean, come on, let's be honest. It's definitely next week.
Well, if that is the case, in that, I'll make sure that I'll superimpose some hair on my head as well. So,
brilliant!
We'll go
I recommend the perm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, blue winks going on, and the whole works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what you need to do. It's like the initial photo that you shared with me and Anthony for a thumbnail idea in our DMs. You with your golden flowing hair, and it's just Tony's face plastered on a Disney princess. You're like, oh god, what's happened here then? What's happened here? It's going to end up looking like that. Either that, or we're just slowly, surely going to see Tony's face go from
Yeah, to sad. Exactly.
just with every little thumbnail that comes up. Week to week, it's more sad.
Our fans boo our own players. Yeah, that's very well. I mean, so did Chelsea's fans. They did that at their game.
They booed their own ownership. They chant for Roman Abramovich, which, funny thing, they were chanting Roman Abramovich about 60 seconds thereabouts before they scored tonight.
Wow.
I just can't believe it's like what Sammy said. I can't believe they're on about Man United building a new stadium for them. I think that's ludicrous. I mean, think of all the glory and the memorabilia that you've won. You know, obviously at that stadium as well. I mean, what's the point? What's the point of moving out of one shithole and moving into another? To me, it don't make sense. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, think of it like this, Anthony. if we move, if we don't move, at least we'll eventually end up with a stadium that has not got a leaky roof.
That's true. That's
Speaking of leaky roofs, the Emirates have started getting leaky roofs now.
That's
started getting leaky roofs.
Do you know the builders? Big up down. The builders that actually, the construction workers that actually built that stadium, the Emirates. Did you know most of them are actually Tottenham fans? Did you know that?
Well, no wonder.
It was actually said, yeah. It was actually said there was a company, and that most of them were Tottenham fans that actually built the Emirates. So when I heard that, I was quite happy about that. But I mean, they must have done something. You know, they must have had a poo on the pitch. You just need the turf over the top. You know, it's something like that. You know, trust me, I'm in the building trade myself, and I most probably would have done the same thing if we were doing Tottenham's. But you know, it's just
You need to look that up, mate. You see just how many of Arsenal fans were building Tottenham Stadium. You can put a life stamp on how much longer that Tottenham Stadium's got before it starts breaking apart.
I think you're better off just staying where you are, because if it's someone like me, I can come round Price or Paul Trafford. I'm guaranteed 15, 20 works there at least with all the problems you've got at your stadium, isn't it?
That's probably why they just want to set. Well, that's probably why the Ineos are probably going around with these building crews and they'll just, that's gone rusty, that's all faulted. That's like, okay, how much are we looking? Yeah, probably several billion to do this. Right, it's probably better off to scrap the whole lot then. It's a lost cause, it's dead.
Straight away.
You've got to flush the toilet 6 times to flush a poo down, is that true?
Well, it doesn't have proper drainage, so it just goes out into where the away section is. All the pipes lead to the away section, and it just goes across the entranceway, so everyone's got to try and tread through it on the way out.
Thank you. Well, I mean, throw it away. I mean, you're saying
your trip home, showered in shit.
Well, you're saying about the Spurs play. I mean, obviously the Spurs stadium. Apparently, a lot of West Ham builders built the actual thing, and you've seen many a picture of West Ham scarves and shirts concrete into the foundations of that great stadium. So good to see, as always. West Ham propping up all the business. I mean, this is a good one. I like this one. Remember Ben White last time at home? He had some odd-looking bleached hair. We're all singing. He's got bird shit on his head. 4 days later, he had brown hair again on the pitch. That's the influence that West Ham have. We make players change their hair. We are
but I can relate to that, because that was when he had the tan and he had the bleached blonde hair. Listen, I was the first one to call him it, and I heard nobody else calling him it on the street. I called him Madge from Benidorm, right? So, which he did look like.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd have turned the contrast on my telly in there. I thought it was the playing up. Then I realised it was actually
Oh,
red
yeah,
and
it was
white.
too fucking bright. It stood. Well, you could
Gee,
tell it stood out on the pitch, wasn't it? It's like fucking hell.
that was awful. Absolutely awful. I don't
It
know what I
was.
was thinking. 100 years from now, a new stadium will have history. Old Trafford is not our first stadium. It's true.
What would they call it? What would they call the stadium, do you reckon? If they're going to have to call it something. But is it going to be in Manchester?
Yeah.
And not Salford?
No, they say it's going to be Manchester. Supposedly, where the site is where on the Stretford end you've got the car parks and the little site out there. Supposedly, they're planning it to be there.
Yeah, obviously.
Just out the back there. So whilst it's being built, at least we can still play in Old Trafford rather than having to go to another venue to play there whilst it's in the process of being built. So,
well, I did hear that apparently they want to. There's a possibility. Someone said, "Why don't they keep Old Trafford and use it for the ladies' team?"
well, I mean, they could just hand Old Trafford over to. They could hand it over to the council and say, "Well, here you go. Here's your responsibility. Use it for other venues. You can tart it up. You can do what you want with it." So they can sell Old Trafford, the stadium, off to the council.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. What Arsenal done with Highbury, they converted that into flats and apartments. You know, that sort of thing. So, and we sold that. But it's nice to know if you can actually keep it. And it's like what Tim said. If you can get the women's team in there, you know, I think that moves probably up for that's a bit of revenue coming into the actual club itself. So, anything's possible, isn't it? Really.
No,
I suppose what you could do is if you could scrap the stadium itself, whereas certain other elements of that ground you can sort of keep there as part of, say, like a museum tour or something.
Perfect one here. Look at that one, hotty totty.
Trafford as a tip. I mean, most of the country already consider it a tip, so I wouldn't call it the most unique idea, Pepsi.
So let's see now. What games we've got? We'll look at a quick look at the games on Saturday in the Prem. What have we got? So we've got Man City Everton. So what do you think the scoreline would be on that game?
Man City and Everton. You know what? I think Everton are going to defend well in that game. Obviously, we know that they sort of lack, obviously, up front, don't they? Because they haven't got that main goal scorer. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a Man City win on this one, Tim. But I'm just going to go for a narrow win. I'm going to go 2-1 Man City.
Fuzzy?
Well, Man City at home, Everton playing away. Sean Dyche ball. Last time he took Everton to Man City, they held them to, what was it, a 1-1 or 2-2 draw?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Everton, they've done it once last season. Not stopping them from going and doing it again. To be fair, I'm probably more in the camp with Anthony that you should be veering towards a Manchester City win. But I wouldn't have thought that it would be a complete blowout. Then again, now I've said that, it's probably going to be 6-0 or something.
I mean, I actually go with Anthony Scott. I'm going with 2-1 as well for City, and I think it's Everton. You know, they will put up a fight, but I think City will just kind of edge it, and 2-1 will probably be reflective. Then you got Bournemouth. I mean, yes, that's the combination of Fulham and Bournemouth. Fulham and Bournemouth.
Ooh. I'm going to go 3-2 to Bournemouth.
Fuzzy's in there straight away.
He's in there straight away. Do you know what? I can understand where Fuzz is coming from because I think that game might have some goals in it. And I feel that I think Bournemouth edges it in just up front in attack for Solanke for me. So I'm going to go for a Bournemouth win. Actually, no. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go for a shocking result. I was going to go the same as Fuzz, but I'm going to go different. I'm going to go for a draw. Sorry, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go 2-0 to Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are playing some decent football at the moment, and they've actually got more chance of having a goal scoring opportunities compared to Fulham at the moment, which seem to be very hit and miss in that respects. And then Liverpool versus Burnley.
Mate, company masterclass. I think 5-0, double deucing it like Liverpool had done to them. North London was going to carry on depression settings. But if we speak factually here, or speak realism, Liverpool probably do them 3-0. They've got to bounce back as well. Off the back of a bad result, they've got to bounce back, and it's at Anfield as well. I think 3 or 4-0 for me.
Bournemouth.
I think I might give Bournemouth a goal there too. Bournemouth, I think I give Burnley a goal there too. I'm going to go. Do you know what? It's going to be Anfield. Liverpool win. I'm going to go 4-1 Liverpool.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go with a 3-1 myself. The Liverpool, I think they're going to be, like I said, they're going to come back from that defeat against Arsenal. Klopp's going to demand it. The fans are going to demand it, and I'm sure that Liverpool will turn up for this game. And basically, Burnley have got nothing to offer. This is probably going to be the best one, I'd say. Luton, Sheffield United.
Ooh. I'm going to, do you know what? I'll go first on this one. I like Luton, and I like what they've been doing. And that 4-4 draw against Newcastle, blimey, what a game that was. I mean, that was a game when we played them and we beat them 4-3. So I'm going to go for Luton in this one. I'm going to go... Do you know what? I can't see Sheffield United scoring. I'm going to go 2-0 Luton.
Yeah. Just to make you aware, Anthony, Bristol City are going into extra time as we're talking.
I was just looking at it. It's the end of the 90.
Yeah, for me, Luton, Sheffield United, crikey. The only team I can see really going into that game and taking anything seriously is Luton. So I'll probably go more a 3-1 Luton. 3-1 Luton, I think.
I mean, this is an interesting comment, from Happy Amaret. Look, 8 goals in the last 2. Mental. Hope that's out. That's Luton, that is. 8 goals in the last 2.
Yeah.
So another bit of breaking news as well. Supposedly, Gritty FC has landed in Seoul in South Korea. Jesse Lingard is back on the pitch, supposedly, with a 2-year contract for FC Seoul.
Yeah.
I did hear it. Yeah, it's time for a Saudi.
Yeah,
exactly. It's very true.
He's going to be doing that on the pitch. Everyone's like, what the hell are you doing? Compulsory military service for you. Off you go. 2 months.
You know what I mean? Big up to the Assemble. Good evening, Early Doors panel in the chat room. Big up to yourself, mate. Yep. And also big up to Tony, Anthony, Hot Fuzz. Big up this Liverpool's up means nothing. We don't beat West Ham. It's true. Absolutely. That's what I said as well. It's that consistency.
FC always. He keeps saying, if I may, he keeps that, or should I say, no, I'll do it at the end of the stream, innit?
Okay, mate.
Yeah, I'll do it at the end. I'll do it at the end. Come.
I mean, Happy Emirates says, no more Lingard saga. He's not coming to us. Great. That's what we want to see. We definitely don't want that. Not again, anyway.
I think he was slightly misunderstood, and I felt sorry for him as a player. Because obviously with him not getting game time in that, and obviously getting a certain amount of games under his belt to say in his, and that has really had a bad effect on his football career. And I think he should have left Manchester United maybe a few years before he left. Obviously, when he left them, he should have left a couple of years before that when he was actually. There was one time he was actually scoring goals for them. I think he scored around about 12 goals in a season. So I think when he done that, he should have left because it was the following season they weren't playing him, and his obviously his game time was just going down.
Down. It did go down.
Tell you on that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. When Luton stay up, it will be the biggest feel-good story in Premier League history. It will be, you know. How long they've been out of it?
They got a better stadium than Old Trafford. At least their fucking roof didn't leak. You know what I mean?
Mate, you can say that.
The grass that they play on is $25.99 a square yard from B&M, but fucking hell, they're going to be perfect.
Mate, their stadium weren't even fit for purpose for like the opening 2 games of the season or something. They just had to say, "No, you're only playing away until you can sort your shit out, Luton."
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I've actually been there. I've actually been to Luton Green, and I just think it's like a shop from the outside, and as you go underneath, you go up the iron steps. As you come up towards the top of the iron steps go out and then back up to the stands. But as it goes out, you're actually over the people's gardens.
Yeah.
You can actually see Margaret in her kitchen making a cuppa. Like you go, "Hello, Marge. See you again."
Hello, Marge.
We're doing football.
You can sell her cups. You can sell her cups of tea. Just buy a load of disposable cups, and so you can put a kettle on for everyone in the way end.
Exactly. I mean, for me in that, I'm going to go with a 3-0 win to Luton. I think they're just they're just strong. I think they're just strong at the moment where they're doing there. Evening to King Arthur USA tennis coach. Get rid of Diver and Dave Moyes. West Ham produced the best technical player, Cole Carrick, Rio. You won't get it with Diver and Dave. No, you're absolutely right there at the moment. Very up in the air, Moyes in and Moyes out, considering this contract that's looming over his head at the moment.
I think you should keep an in thing. I really think you should keep Moyes. I'm not saying he's produced quite good this season. I mean, everybody has a slip up every now and then, don't they? Do you know what I mean? And if in all fairness, you got to think who's out there, and if you get another manager in, how are they going to correspond with the players that you've already got there? Because I think Moyes is he's still created that bond with them.
Yeah, there is some, you know, the players do like him, you know, but it's just the fact of, I can understand fans you know, their feelings towards Moyes, because it's the inconsistency again, because you find certain games, like when we played you, for instance, we played out of us, you know, we played really well, got the result we did, and then we played the Brighton game, and basically, you know, they might as well sat in the 18-yard box, because that's how deep we sat back. So it's that part that is a bug, you know, is a pain in the arse, because you expect from that week that game to do exactly in the next game, if not to be better. But the fact that you sit back because you know that Brighton's are an attacking team, it's the inconsistency, you know, and it's just not being funny, Anthony, like with Arsenal. The Liverpool game counts for nothing if you're not consistent in the next couple of games.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some as that. I mean, obviously, heavy said about Lingard. I feel sorry for him when he was told he'd be part of Manx if he went back. But the next move was unforgivable, in my opinion. Worst mistake of his career. That's going obviously to Forest. Just picking the thing. AFC Always, he's saying, question to Anthony, should Trossard start against West Ham?
I think he can, yeah. I'll be honest with you, AFC Always, I don't want to see a 4-3-3. I'm fed up with 4-3-3 now. I don't want to see 4-3. It doesn't work. You've got the depth, but sadly, you lack in width a bit. And I like to go back to what Arteta played, which originally was the 4-2-3-1, where we had goals all around the pitch, you know, and that was even better. So if we could play 4-2-3-1, I mean, you can drop Martinelli, bring in Trossard. Hell, you can even take Odegaard out the middle and put Trossard in the middle behind Jesus, or up front. One of the two. I mean, try something to change something round, you know. And I mean, the options are there. I mean, you've got a plan A and a plan B with that team, definitely. But obviously, with our manager Mikel Arteta, he doesn't see that. Unfortunately,
there is no plan B.
Two things as well. When you play, you say 4-3-3. If you've got Alexander Zinchenko, you pretty much most of the game don't play 4-3-3 anyway. You play 3-4-3 because he always disappears into midfield. But as for the front three and playing Trossard, I probably would play him with Martinelli starting in the striker's position. Try him out. got Saka on
Yeah.
the right. Plus, that's 3 players that can play both winger positions, but also play up top. And you can have a revolving front 3. I don't know if Mikel Arteta's actually fluidly had a revolving front 3. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got Jesus available. And Nketiah's not really a world beater. He's barely a championship beater, to be fair, but you've got Kai Havertz as well. I don't think he's really.
No, don't give me that.
He's the thing.
No.
So
that's come on. We signed a 2 reject. We've got
what Jez
Hazard,
says.
you got Mount. Come on, what's worse than that?
Well, I mean, like what Jez says with the striker situation, give Martinelli a run out up front in the striker position. See how he does.
It's true.
And to keep your midfield the same as well with Jorginho, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard.
But Harry, if you look at the stats, Trossard, his stats are still they're quite amazing actually. They're pretty much better than 90% of the players that play first team football anyway.
So
it's something to do with like game time, assist, goal, but within that ratio. Do you know what I mean? So it works out on a certain percentage. Otherwise, it works like he's quite at the top.
Yeah. I mean, Fuzz, I think obviously this one did Differing Dave produce Rooney. I think he gave me the opportunity. I think he gave me his debut, didn't he? You remember?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Oh, piss off!
At the time, yeah. Debut, 16 years of age or something.
Yes, we know.
What team was he against? I wonder. I wonder. Moyes loves to dance.
It was that free kick by pass. It went
down. Alan Pardew likes to dance even harder.
Exactly. That's very true. King Arthur saying, if you keep Differing Dave, you'll never win. His style is pathetic. His training was waded through the cold rivers of Austria to see if players had character. Well, at least they went through cold rivers rather than the balmy calms of Dubai and steak and riverboats.
I can see this coming up on Tony's stream once when he does his thumbnail. Differing Dave and whatever it is. It's differing Dave's time up.
The villager rat Phil Neville. Yeah, obviously, so always is saying go back to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-2-1. There's another question for you. So, a question for Big T for early doors. Do any of the current Arsenal players walk into the West Ham starting lineup?
Oh, fuck me, all of them, every single one, including Kai Havertz.
No, Kai Havertz, Jesus Christ.
Well, definitely not Declan Rice. Definitely
not Declan Rice.
I don't even care. There's no way in hell on earth I want that man.
Kai Havertz up top.
Different Dave does.
Does any of the Arsenal players? Bloody hell.
I think Saka.
Nah, because again,
Trossard and Martinelli, I think, because you need players that play left hand and up top.
You got
Jared Bowen. You got Jared Bowen that can do the right hand side and then up top. Just have someone who can do the same thing left hand and up top.
It's possibly Saliba. I'll say not Gabriel, and that Gabriel for me is too much of a liability. If he knows he's being done, he takes a player out, and that's I don't really.
Something's going to come to you as a shot. I prefer Gabriel to Saliba.
Number 35.
I do. I prefer Gabriel to Saliba, and it's not just because the amount of goals that he's scored more than what Saliba has scored, but I just feel that with Gabriel, he makes his presence known more in the box compared to Saliba. So that's my own opinion anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a few of them. I mean, obviously you take Rice back in your team, wouldn't you? I mean, you play him there.
I would do. I mean, obviously, as you said, we've bought well with the money from the south. We've bought decent players to cover what was one player. So I'll be very happy with that. I mean, Alan Devonshire, the great Alan Devonshire, what a player he was.
It's Martin Odegaard bench, James Ward-Prowse or Kudus.
Oh yeah. Just to tie their shoelaces up. That's probably about it.
It's like one of your old left backs years ago, Bristol boy, Julian Dix. And it's a little story here, but when he was younger, my mum She used to babysit Julian Dix.
Wow.
Yeah, and he did because they lived close by, and he was friendly, like obviously with the parents and my grandparents and that, and they were quite friendly. She used to go around there. She used to babysit Julian Dix. So you know, it was, but yeah, he was a little sod when he was younger. Your mum said.
He carried out on his playing career as well. And
Yeah.
Nice comment here. I'm rushing with the comments. Me and the missus are watching Rocky 4. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers, legend. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, he is like a piece of iron.
Thanks, Happy Emmett. Yeah, special like on the channel, guys. Share the stream. Share some love. Love, Doctor. Big up DJ Crane, how are we doing? So the flatness was held hostage. Big up the good bag and Anthony.
Cheers,
Good to pardon, Anthony.
What happened to the great West Ham Academy? Well, fun enough, we was talking about this the other day, King Arthur. It's not just West Ham. There's several clubs now where you think we used to have academies. It's all about buying in prepaid players that hit the road running. Whereas, we was famed for our academy. But yeah, this day and age, it's all about getting results. So academies, players get loaned out, and then we don't hear much about them afterwards, do we, really?
Yeah. It's a shame, really, because I've noticed with the West Ham Youth Academy is when they come up from the academy and then West Ham, they can actually play and you actually produce good players from when they first literally come onto the pitch. But unfortunately now, it's less of that because these players are good, but they sort of creep down into it's like the championship teams. They're constantly buying them. Do you know what I mean? And then they produce the goods there, and then they get the money when they upgrade. When they turn them into good players. But unfortunately, it's all to do with that now. And I got to be honest with you, it's a shame because it's nice to see maybe 2 or 3 youth players a season come through the ranks. That's my opinion.
I mean, we've got a few youngsters that Moisey puts on the bench. Obviously, one is Divum Mbamba. That kid kind of did well in pre-season friendlies, but he's just not kind of making the break into the first team at the moment. But I suppose, like him and Gills, hopefully Moyes might give him a chance. Pepsi Pack saying, win the dog up front for West Ham if we're taking any players from from Arsenal. Probably about the dog's probably the best thing.
But you know what? I think if Arsenal like to do things of creating history, they probably would actually consider doing the first ever dog transfer from a club to club in football history. That would be so typical.
Your mob's done it for Tavares from Nottingham Forest. Or a player that went on there on loan, the one that likes the French kiss dog.
Oh,
He's
Tavares.
going to Man United, yeah.
He's going to Man. Wow. Big T saying, early doors, if you have not already, can you do a video on why West Ham were considered the aristocrats of football? Often heard the term, but never know why. Would be interested. I'll make a note of that. Let me just kind of take a screenshot because I'll have a look into that one. Thanks, that Big T.
Well, yeah, it'd be better if you'd done it. So, no disrespect to Alt Fuzz, because Alt Fuzz does all the Man United content, And what I like about Fuzz's channel is he goes, it's not just talking about it, but Fuzz goes sort of into the depth with it. Do you know what I mean?
Cuts to the bone.
Cuts to the bone, the saying is, and that and scrapes the meat off the bone. Let's give it some, and that's what Fuzz does. So, I mean, big up to you for doing that, Fuzz. I do enjoy your stream. I was watching it earlier. I put in a comment.
Call it fuzzy kebabs, don't they? They get all the meat off the bone and then slush it all together, and before you know it, sitting on a spit.
Hey, you could have a Wednesday night takeaway. Not Wednesday, a Tuesday night takeaway called Fuzzy Kebabs. Yeah, you're giving them an idea now.
There you go.
They assembled. Does anyone think Havertz is the centre forward Arsenal have been looking for? I think Jesus will be kept for next season.
That's bullshit. No crap. Absolute shit. I want.
They think it is, but it's not.
And I want Eddie Nketiah out. And I got to be honest with you. I want Jesus. I want him to rotate with Martinelli on the left-hand side. Originally, where he played at Man City, and I want Arsenal to sign two good strikers. So we can rotate with them as well. Yeah. That's what Arsenal's missing.
No, it's true. I mean, obviously, Herbert is saying, Moyes doesn't risk giving the youth a chance, and unfortunately, that's a great shame because our under 21s, they're really decent. They are decent. Pepsi Pack's asking question: favourite Arsenal player to play for West Ham? Well, I've got to say, Liam Brady. Even at his age, he was a great player for us. Liam Brady, hands down.
Yeah. I thought for a second then I thought you was going to see John Hartson. I thought, bloody hell.
Interesting one here. Will West Ham stay at the London Stadium?
I think you would. I can't see the reason why you want to leave. I know there's certain percentages you take in, and obviously a certain percentages go out, don't they, to other places and that. But you're still making money.
Well, you got to think we only pay £3-4 million for the stadium. That's all we pay. Yeah, right. Everything else goes to LDC, but they are losing hand over fist millions. And again, you're funny. You're talking about Old Trafford leaking. You're talking about obviously Arsenal leaking. The London Stadium is doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
and
Arsenal's not leaking. That's just him making up stories. That's just him making up stories.
Okay. There's no truth in the rumour.
There's not one drip. Yeah, honestly, I don't know where Focus his information from.
I got my information from a video that was taken inside the Everett Stadium. This massive waterfall coming from. It wasn't. I think it was.
That's
Trafford.
No, there was the one from the Emirates as well.
You know that is Fuzz, didn't you? That's called Art Deco. Because obviously
it's a waterfall. The first intentional waterfall designed
in a football stadium.
That's why the roof sort of does that.
Yeah, but that's a feature. Like that. We're up to date. We've gone into the future. That's a lovely feature, and every stadium will have one.
Yeah, so I mean, depends.
Don't bathe in the waters though, because you'll get every known bacterial disease in the world just because of how dirty the water is.
It might be a good thing. For them. But yeah, I think it all depends if we get new owners, and it all depends on what happens with the London Stadium itself, because you never know if they're losing that much money. Would it be a given that, as we're the current owners, it's got a 99-year lease on the actual stadium itself? Yeah. But yeah.
But for the meantime, Tony, it makes sense for West Ham to stay there. Because
I think we'll stay there. Yeah, I don't think we'll move.
Because you're making money at the end of the day, aren't you? And they're losing. As long as you're pocketing.
That's all I mean. That's all that matters. Exactly that. Yeah, absolutely. The Assemble saying, do you think the coaching standards have improved at academy level as less players are coming through these days?
I think it's possibly. I think that there's some academies have got it a lot better. Other academies, I think, are a little bit lacking behind. I think the clubs, there's a lot of clubs nowadays that try and enforce the same style of play as the first team. Like they'll literally ask the next coaches down, can you do the exact same thing? Right, have your meetings with the first team managers, or just full on coaching meetings, and what the style of football needs to be, and the philosophies, and try and keep everything the same, so the integration from level to level is a bit more seamless, as opposed to your under 21s or reserves team playing Route 1 football, whereas the first team plays tiki taka. You got to coach one player to go from one style straight into the other.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
I think it has improved, but the only thing that I don't hold with now is the clubs on today. Most of the clubs have they've sacked basically all their scouts. I mean, Edu did that when he first got to Arsenal, and what they call it now is a YouTube scouting policy, is where they look on that and it's players. They scout the players and they watch videos of them. Actually, instead of sending a scout over there and watching them for the full 90 minutes of the games, or a couple of games, to see what these players are like, that's the problem we've got now. It's too much of that and less sending us. I think they've done it now with because it works out cheaper, because you're saving a wage Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So, but I don't agree with that, Tone. I like the old-fashioned way of where if you're a scout, you go out there and you scout good players, and not
Yeah.
that. If you're a scout and you know you've got a top quality player for your team, for your scouting methods, hey, wouldn't that feel good?
Of course, I mean, we may be an exception because obviously with Steadtine, you've seen what he did in the summer transfer window. By all accounts, he's now got his brother in. There's another guy that they've brought with them as well. So we're kind of expanding on our network there. You've still got Rob Newman in the background. He's the one that's organising all this. And at the same time, we're also bringing Mark Noble, Mr. West Ham, up to speed with that as well. So when you look at it, West Ham are doing things right there. And this is obviously with this transfer window, there was talks of Liverpool trying to step up their time because obviously the job he's done.
Yeah.
It's quietened off a little bit, which is great to hear because, we can't lose someone like that. It's good. It's actually good business from West Ham to get someone in that basically knows his shit. Send off.
Yeah. Like someone, you moved, because you mentioned it, but you touched on it about Noble. But wouldn't it be good if someone like a Leicester offered that to like a Jamie Vardy? Do you know what I mean? So like an attacking.
Keep it in house. Yeah. Keep it in house. Yeah. This is it. Just going to go on Pepsi Pax. He's asked, did you like Ian Wright and Freddie Lundberg? Ian Wright, yes. Freddie Lundberg, no. I think that was just another one kind of just collecting a wage because that fella hardly played for us. So that was a waste of time.
Oh, he was good for us. I've actually got an Arsenal shirt in the frame that's actually signed by Freddie Lundberg.
Yeah, but Tommy left you and come to us, and again, at least Ian Wright still kind of put something up.
He was doing it when I think he went to Burnley, Celtic, and Forest. I think he went to, if I'm not mistaken. It was somewhere.
Yeah.
I know he went to Burnley and Celtic, Ian Wright, but I think it was. I think Forest. He went to Forest as well, maybe.
Just to answer your question as well, Big T, Villa bottled it tonight. Yeah, they absolutely have. What they've done is they're probably thrown the game to save their pummeling for us on Sunday. Where it's just like let's just deliberately lose tonight so that it gives United the feeling that they're going to have an easier game, and then we see the best Villa performance of all time on Sunday. It'd be so
there was another player as well, Tim, that I felt that Arsenal, who we saw to West Ham, he didn't play good for West Ham. He might have played better for Arsenal, but he might play better for you than what he did us. The Croatian striker, Davusuka.
Yeah. By that stage in that year, he was completely washed out, wasn't he, really, when we took him on?
Yeah.
That's when we was the old people, not like you guys are now. So thanks for taking over the mantle.
I hope that won't fall back on me then.
Yeah. Going back onto the games on Saturday, we've then got Spurs versus Brighton.
4-2 last time out.
Do you know what? I think you're going to have to favour Spurs because I think within the last few games that I've seen of Brighton, they only show up when they sort of when they want to, and it matters to them. I mean, because they've had a few rubbish games, and some obviously some good games, but through that, I think you've got to favour Tottenham in that game, and do you know what? I'll most probably go 3-1 Tottenham in that game. And I think he's coming on leaps and bounds of late. Richarlison or whatever it is you want to call it.
Yeah.
But he's seemed to be scoring goals in that of late. So I think that'd be a good game for him to score goals. And this is coming from a bloody Arsenal fan praising up Tottenham. You're not going to. Just move on, Tim, because someone's going to slate me in the comments. Yeah, let's move on to Fuzz.
I mean, the assembled saying to you, Anthony Nketiah is an academy product. If he's the standard of academy graduates, we need to scrap it.
You do. Yeah,
that's actually kind of funny that everyone, like guys like Reece Nelson and Bukayo Saka, are responsible from other regimes, right? So technically speaking, it feels like that the only person that really has graduated from Arteta's Project Youth is Eddie Nketiah. That's the best player on record thus far that Arteta has at promoting. That is mental.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the way they've done that. In all fairness, because I personally think is an insult to Thierry Henry and the shirt number 14. Not personally, I would after when Thierry Henry left. I personally I would have put another player in number shirt 14. I would have done it.
You can
I would have
retire,
just.
For a
Yeah,
great
I would
player,
have retired that shirt number and said, "Look, that's it." Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. He said, obviously, when you're on a show, cameras in front of you, viewers watching, you've got to be nice. But I bet you, as soon as that camera switched off, he's actually gutted. He said, "Thierry, did you really mean that about Eddie Nketiah?" Lad, I fucking shit. But you ain't going to say that in front of the camera,
Of course not. Of course not. Of course.
I would, like me, I would. But
Anyway, the chat's a bit bizarre tonight. I'm seeing double. We haven't drunk since the fresh of the weekend.
Oh, don't say that about double. I got to. Did you see what happened on bloody Dave's show? All school good. There was 2 of me at the bottom.
Yes. Yeah. What the hell was that all about?
What I don't know what that was. He said it was. I said it wasn't me. I was literally like that, and then there was a camera. It coming on the side. I'm thinking, what the hell's that all about?
I was just seeing double eyebrows myself, but that's about it, I mean, for me,
there's the ones that are the invisible. That's the real ones, right? And then there's the ones that get drawn on, which are all the way up here.
Yeah.
So
do you know what? Constantly... If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's the Arsenal preview game or something. It was done about. I think it was about 3 days ago, wasn't it? 3 nights ago.
Yeah. Just bad. I mean, for me, the Spurs Brighton game, I think it's going to be quite a close game in that. I think Spurs will just nick it, and I'm going to give it as a 3-2 scoreline.
I'm going a 2. I'm going actually 2-0 to Spurs. 2-0 to Spurs, simply because Brighton probably will just disappear. Travelling away from home. I think Tottenham will control the game a bit too much for Brighton to find a groove. I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise this. So thanks for confirming this, Happy Hour. Poor Kufal closing down his social media accounts after abuse for that tackle with Martinez. He got quite a lot of stick for that. Quite a lot of stick. But it was quite self-inflicted. The next game, high-flying Wolves, they take on Brentford.
Ooh, a big scoring game. Go a bit out on a limb and say a 3-3.
So who's this again? Sorry,
Wolves, Brentford.
Right. I want to start off with saying thank you for coming on. Let me coming on the channel. It's like what's the channel? I think it's going to be a good game, entertaining game. I'm going to have to go. Trouble is though, is this a Wolves team that Ivan Toney can actually cause any damage to? Because if you think of it, Wolves is they beat quite a few good. All right, they beat Chelsea. I'm not being funny. Chelsea ain't that great, are they? But they have beaten a few good teams. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 because I think Pedro Neto is good. I think Wolves' top goal scorer. He might be back because I think they've. I think their team's gone like the Asia Cup, if I'm not mistaken, and I think he's back now. So I think he's back. So I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Wolves. I think Wolves they played some very good football. I mean, obviously, Happy Emirates said exactly the same thing. They're playing so much better, but I think just going to nick this near the end. I'd say. Have you seen the staff medical on Man United looks bad? Doping?
Well, I know that I think the physio, like the head physiotherapist or something at Man United, is leaving us on the 29th of Feb. I handed his notice in. He's
Okay,
gone.
interesting. So he's gone. One for you, Anthony, from the assembled. You seem to have supported Arsenal for a long time. Do you believe Arsenal gaslight their fan base's loyalty?
Oh, they can do. I think the fan base has got worse over the years, if I'm honest. When I say worst over the years, I'm talking like the last, I don't know, 5, maybe the last 10 seasons. People's like of late are saying, oh well, you know, he's good, he's class, Arteta in this, that, and the other. No, I'm sorry if you're one of those. I could talk to you, but if you're gonna slate someone's opinion, I mean, obviously, don't have a go at the person, but have a go at the opinion sort of thing.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's entitled to one.
Yeah, and I feel sometimes different of opinion is good to have, whether it's face to face, even on a show like this. You know, you can come on, have a good chat and a good debate. Obviously, keep it in, you know, in line sort of thing. But the fan base years ago was brilliant. I didn't have a problem with the fan base years ago, and it's like what I said. It's only of late now, and unfortunately, I am going to say it. Unfortunately, I think is the young fan. If you know what I call the young modern era of the fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but what can an 18-year-old tell me what I don't know about football? Nothing. I'm sorry, but you know, that's my opinion, and that's how I stand by my rules and that. But that's all I'm going to say on it. But regarding the fan base, that's the fan base I'm on about assembled. It's just that.
That's good. And then just to conclude on the Saturday fixture, the evening fixture, is Forest versus Newcastle.
I'll probably go the 2-1 to Newcastle, I think, this one. I mean, Forest, they dismantled Newcastle at their ground. Newcastle are going to have the same old story. I wouldn't have thought so. I think Newcastle would turn up, you know, make a better account for themselves and make it a more competitive fixture. And Forest, I know they can sort of go up and down from game to game. I mean, still currently probably about to go to penalties in the game currently with Bristol City.
Let's check that. He's gone into penalties now.
Penalties,
full
wow.
time.
That's really interesting. So
I said penalties and City will win. Bristol City will win. You watch.
No, if you said that, you've got to touch a load of wood now.
Hey, listen, you're talking about wood. My table will be lifting. Don't you worry about that?
Don't want to know what you got going on with your wood.
Yeah, I think this would be a close game, and that Forest can do something. They've shown that in certain games. So I'm going to be a bit of a dubious one here and there, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 result.
Sorry, Dave. What was the Forest and
Newcastle?
I'm sorry, but I can only see one winner here, and if Yeti's going to play this back, I'm so sorry. I can just see nothing but a Newcastle win. I do apologise, and that's it. I don't think it's going to be an absolute hammering. If Newcastle win, I can see it by the odd goal. But then again, Forest did beat Newcastle on Boxing Day 3-1.
Yeah.
So there's that to contend with as well. So I didn't give it a thought of that. And Chris Wood against his old club as well. So he scored an hat-trick. Oh God, I think I might. Actually, no. I think no. I'm gonna go 2-1 Newcastle. I think Newcastle might pay them return the favour. So yeah, so I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. That would be a good watch along if anybody is going to do that or go on
I'll
anybody
guarantee
else.
you're eating it.
Yeah.
So just so the one Fuzzy King Arthur saying, do you think Man United should rebuild or remodel? It's the rat full of tank that may destroy you. We've already talked about this side of things, and
rat full of talk. I mean, thus far, as far as talk is concerned, he's still awaiting ratification. The best he can do is talk, and even when they are only allowed to talk, they've still managed to nab Omar Barada off of Man City in the pomp of their success.
okay, so that's interesting. Interesting.
Arsenal were not back-to-back title contenders into the last part of the season for Arteta. Should Arsenal fans give Arteta more respect? Depends on how the same part of the season goes 1 year later.
No, I don't agree with that. I know what you're saying, Big Team, where you're coming from with that comment, but no, I mean, you've got a manager there that's never managed a team before. I personally think the job was too big for him in the first place. We got rid of the last manager we've got rid of, Unai Emery before him, was the better manager. He's proved that with slightly, but obviously with Villa. I know they went out the cup tonight against Chelsea, but listen, he took over them at 17th and got them up into playing Europe football, in the top six. So, and they with Villa, they don't spend the money, the millions of what Arsenal does on players. So he's got that to contend with, but he's produced the best out of those players, and I give that guy credit. The CV says it all to me, but I will say one thing. I never knew if Mikel Arteta winning the FA Cup can keep you in a job for 4 years after winning it and not win. But this is crunch time because if we go out the Champions League, Arteta's got to win the Premier League this season. He spent 750 million. He's been backed by the Cronkies. Next season, if he's there next season and we spend another 100, you might as well say he's going to spend closer to 900. It won't be far off $1 billion. Most probably spend. If it's 250 billion, he'd be there and he'd spend his first $1 billion. If that, I think Mikel Arteta, in all fairness, guys, you've heard it here first on Early Doors TV. Mikel Arteta, if he spends his first $1 billion and doesn't win anything, he will be sacked by the end of next season. Fact. Mark my words. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Javier says, Forest struggled tonight. It's only Bristol City when we know what the result was there.
Hang on a minute. What was that score in the replay, Tone? Can you remind me that scoreline in the replay?
I think it's
between West Ham and Bristol City in the FA Cup. What was the?
It was something anyway. I think
they got
through.
Yeah. Who did you get in the next round?
Who do we get next round? Got some Jaeger bombs, a couple of pints of beer, and that kind of round. Sorry, mate. Yeah, we just.
I wish I was in that fucking round. I'll tell you.
That'd be easier. Well, you won't see my wallet prized open for that one. Man United to finish fourth. Interesting.
Unlikely.
And this is the thing, innit? I mean, we've just seen City kind of, should we say Foden? Oh, Tyler May's back again. Foden getting his hat trick. And obviously they've got to win this next game in hand, which is on Saturday. And as you know, then it all depends on you guys against us on Sunday. So we will go with the Sunday game. So as you know, the Hammers face the Gunners. So realistically, Anthony, what do you think the scoreline will be?
I think it'd be a good game. Tim. I always say West Ham and Arsenal are always good games. Personally, I thought that you're going to be on a bit of a drought, but you're going to need to play someone lower than yourself to win a game to get back up to winning form. I don't mean that nastily, right? But I feel Arsenal is going to win this game, and realistically, if we can beat Liverpool 3-1, I'm going to say 7-1 to the Arsenal. No, I'm not. I'm going to say I'll say 3-1 Arsenal. I got a funny feeling that Arsenal will win, and it'll it'd be getting our own back on you because you've done us twice this season. You've done the double on us. You know, you've beat us in the league already. The ball was out the line, and also with the cup and knocking us out the cup as well. So VAR, if you don't do your job right, I'm gonna kick you in the bollocks. I'm sorry, I don't like it. So that's it. So 3-1 Arsenal are gonna go on that one team.
Okay, mate. Buzz?
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably be again maybe more like a 2-1 Arsenal kind of thing. And I told you with the touching wood and everything, maybe should touch wood with Bristol City as well, because I mean they've missed their second penalty, and Forest are 3-1 up on the pens, so it looks like Bristol are fast tracking it out, taking good advice from Mikel Arteta on how to be in competitions and all. And it means that Yeti gets to hold double delight over you as well. Gets to mock you for Arsenal, but you can also mock you for Bristol as well.
Yeah. Not
But
good
yeah,
at
for
all.
me, 2-1 Arsenal against West Ham, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've got that scoreline 2-1, but I'd love West Ham to do it, but I think it's more like it's going to be an Arsenal result, I'd say. You know, if Moyes doesn't get his tactics right, I mean, there's a chance that Paqueta could possibly feature on the bench, and it was good to see Antonio doing a bit of light training now, so it's not far for him in that, which is desperately needed. But I think at the moment we're just lacking that little bit of creativity to get something out of the game, and I'd love it to be free on the spin that we're beating Arsenal. You know, that's definitely bragging rights in my eyes. But we'll see if that's going to be the case. But I think Arsenal are just going to be a little bit too strong considering the result they got on the weekend, basically.
I mean, just a sec, James. On tonight's game, that Forest and Bristol City one, Forest has actually put out a good side. You know, pretty much their first team. And the stats, I mean, Forest has had 17 shots on goal. Bristol City's had 15. 5 of them was on target for Forest, 8 for Bristol City. The possession is 50-50, right? And the stats is pretty much all the same. It's all pretty much equal, to be honest with you. You can understand why it's going. It's 3-2 in penalties now. Is that the full time?
4-2. I think it's. I don't know if it's after 5 penalties. If Bristol City score their next one, Forest have to score theirs to win the game. But if they don't, then it carries on to sudden death, right. I think.
Wow, okay. It's a bit of a turnaround all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Antonio, one step away from another injury. And then obviously the last game being played on Sunday is the late kick-off, Villa versus Man United.
Wow. I mean, Villa definitely sprinting their way out of the FA Cup as well tonight. Doing absolute nonsense business against Chelsea. You know, probably the most discombobulated Chelsea team of all time. And Unai Emery still doing bits for the Blues, but I think United will have a tough day, really tough day. But I'll go a bit more glass half full. I'll probably back United to get a 2-1 victory there. But it's going to be very, very tough. We'll make a meal out of it, definitely.
Interesting. Obviously, Pepsi just confirming that Forest have won on a penalty shootout. So Arsenal on 5, Sheffield, Wednesday 3. For me, I mean, this game, obviously, Villa now, obviously there's two losses on the bounce now that they've lost. If I remember rightly. So you look at something like that. Man United, they're enjoying a good spell at the moment. So for me, I can see this being a 3-1 result to Man United.
Can you? Well, Oh yeah, yeah. In all fairness, I do respect that, but I just feel I don't let tonight's game getting away with it because it was an FA Cup replay and that sort of thing. I just feel I don't know. I just look from where they are in the league. I just feel that I got a favour. I'm sorry first, but I favour Aston Villa to win this one. I really do because you think of it, the likes of Rashford, he's not, he hasn't been living up great expectations. Anthony, bloody hell, I don't know where he's coming from. I think he's absolutely dire. He's rubbish, Anthony. I mean, you've got two Anthonys in this show here. I think we're better than him.
That's why he's in the ugly section this week.
And well, yeah, that's true. All right, then he's joined with early doors, I'll say then. And I think with Fernandez, in the middle of the pitch, Fernandez it ain't great. I mean, McTominay, he's still. I mean, he did play a good game on the weekend. You know,
like
and
you said,
he did. You've got to admit that.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't understand these Man United fans. Is it because I don't know what it is. Is it the way how he plays? The why the Man United fans don't like him because he's still your top goal scorer. And if he's playing from the back coming up and getting goals, it proves that your team is sadly lacking up front. Right, Højlund scored. Højlund's got what's that now? Is that 4 goals or in Premier League goals? Premier League goals I'm on about. Is that 4 goals now in the Premier League? He's got Højlund.
I think so, but no comps. It's about 9.
Exactly.
Or 10.
So, in all fairness, everybody's got. I think for this season, just lay off him. Just get off of McTominay. And I think the more times you play him,
never.
He's the spine.
Never.
He's the spine of that team. I mean, you don't play Varane anymore. I think they've had a falling out, Anthony. Varane and Ten Hag. So I've heard. I think they're not agreed on with one another, and that's why he hasn't been in with the team. You've been playing that, dog shit of a centre back we can call Harry Maguire, but he's just one of those. He's just one of those, unfortunately. And I can. In the comments, somebody said Man United finishing 4th this season. I can't see it. I cannot see Man United finishing in the top 4.
Yeah,
you would finish around about 7th. You be getting used now to Europa League conference, and you wouldn't even win that. West Ham won it, and you won't win. We won't. I mean, in all fairness, if you don't want that playing for it, then finish 8th. And the only tune that I got for you is Saturday nights at 10:30. Because there ain't going to be no Champions League music, Europa League music, nothing.
As that song go? Is that the one?
Yeah. I knew you was coming with that thing.
So anyway, we're getting to we're in an hour and coming up to 48 minutes. So Anthony, if you'd like to shout your channels out, please, for me, mate.
Yeah, I host a show called Gunners from All Corners. If AFC always is still in here, I don't know if he is. We're actually streaming tomorrow. I've got a show tomorrow night at 9:00. I've got Old School Gunner, and I can't remember who else I got on. I think he's a dodgy bold guy at Sports West Ham. You'd have to remind me who that is, Ting. And and we're gonna, it's gonna be a good show. I think it's gonna. Listen, the 3 of us, we got like a bond together. We can have a joke, we can have a laugh, talk about Arsenal. Tony's going to come on. He's going to be talking about the West Ham as well, all about the game. So stay tuned in for that. And also, hopefully, I've got my show is back on Sunday as well, the Premier League weekend show. And I've still got to get a guest for that one. But first show first, and yeah, make sure you tune in, like, subscribe, not just to my show, but to both of these. Come on, let's have it. They do really good content.
Thanks, Rosie, as well. Buzzy, you'd like to shout your channel out, please?
Yeah, you can find me on Eps.4. Have been live over on my channel for this show as well. And if you are watching from my location, You can find the links to both Early Doors and Anthony Herbert's Football United TV in the stream description. Yeah, while we're putting that in.
What about the quiz? What about the quiz? You doing a quiz, Anthony? You doing a quiz?
I didn't know about the quiz. Is anyone doing a quiz?
I don't know.
Did I say? I didn't mention a quiz, no?
I haven't mentioned any quiz either.
Definitely, Lawrence.
That is the quiz. That's the quiz. The one-question quiz. When is the quiz? What about it?
I tell you what, because we haven't. Listen, because we haven't. I haven't. Sorry to cut you off, because we haven't. The last show I done was actually before New Year, just the 28th of December, to be honest with you. Listen, if you want to talk about football, we can do the prediction score. We could have a little quiz if you want to. I could fire you a few West Ham questions if you want to. On which decade do you prefer? Do you prefer the 80s or 90s?
I'm hip with it, mate. I'm in with the 20s, you know what I mean? Doing all that business. Yes, people, as you know, Anthony, Hot Fuzz, they do some great stuff in that. So don't forget, obviously, when you got the chance to go and have a look at their channels and that and see the content that they do, obviously give them a like, definitely share it and that. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to these guys as well. Rosie's saying, it was a great quiz, all different YouTubers. I think that's obviously Jez that did that, Rosie. So
yeah, I know Jez does the quizzes, yeah.
Yeah, Christian one.
Oh, it might have been the Christmas one.
Yeah, the Christmas one. What will Arsenal's next celebration entail? Well,
I couldn't tell you.
They'll play the
stripping and bathing in the roof leakage to the Emirates.
Yeah, there he is. Well done, Fuzzy, in that. Big up to Longhaired Yeti's Cave. Also, guys, if you see this gentleman, Longhaired Yeti's Cave, go to his channel and that, share, like, and subscribe.
Yeah, big up Yeti.
Big up, mate, to him as well. Big up, Yeti. Good to see you doing well, mate. Very kind, yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mama Flossie. She's only started watching the one in 2003. So, Rosie's got a lot of catching up on your quiz shows there. Question 2, will Man United be relevant again?
Nah, they never were. They still are. Even without winning trophies, we are.
Thanks,
people always talk about us. People never stop. Hated, adored, but never ignored.
Exactly that. And as always, he's got nice compliments for Anthony. Anthony, you're just having the next round of the FA Cup. It's your turn.
Yeah, well done, Yeti. You deserved it. It was good. I bet it was a good game because he really tried to get that game on. I reckon that was the best game of tonight. With
really?
Vic 1-1 with it, yeah. I mean, the stats says it within themselves, like the shots and the attempts on goals and the possession, 50-50 possession.
So
and going to a penalty shootout. Obviously, it would have been a great game to do a watch along, but unfortunately, sorry you couldn't do the watch along on that game. And congratulations going into the next round.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to come watch it. I know. It's a shame, mate.
So here's the positive, though, right? At least with the next round, you actually can have a televised game because you're playing against Mighty Man United. At least you've got a significant enough opponent to make it to television and to the third world party streams.
That's good. Brilliant. So anyway, folks, thanks very much for staying into the chat and staying with us, guys. It's been great to have you all in here, and there's been some great comments in the chat as well. As you know,
you're next, Yeti. You're next. I'm not next. You're next. That's famous immortal words of Goldberg. You're next. It doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't
matter who's next for you.
So yes, we'll say good night. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly show. I'm Early Doors Football TV. Thanks for watching, and
I know the ugly one though.
all I say is, come on, you irons. Enjoy.